What's going on, and welcome to the first ever Brofessional podcast, the gaming podcast for all your gaming needs and essentials. I'm Franchise. Some of you guys may or may not know me from numerous other podcasts, and I'm a pretty known person in the game design community, so I'm pretty excited to get started and do some gaming-oriented podcasts. I've wanted to do this for a long time, but I'm not the only one in this podcast. We have our co-host, Pazzi. Pazzi, introduce yourself.
Hey, what is going up, everybody? My name is Positive HP, Twitch TV live streamer. Me and Steve are friends and everything else, so he asked me to come do this podcast with him, and it's going to be fun.
It's going to be super fun. I'm super excited. Now, one of the first segments I kind of want to get into is, this is going to be a staple of our show, in my opinion, I think at least, is what are we playing right now? So, Josh, what are we playing?
Oh, boy. Well, Overwatch, WoW, and then some more Overwatch. That's about it. But like Overwatch has pretty much taken us over in console, playing on Xbox One with everybody that we do play with. And then WoW just started getting back into, starting all over again, grinding, and loving every single second of it. So I'm excited to be back on that. But more on that later.
I was going to say, you've been chatting. Every time I check my texts, we have this group text for like a few of our friends and us. We just talk about gaming and whatever. And like literally every other text I wake up to in the morning is some kind of WoW text. I'm just like, it's happening again. It's sucked us back in.
It's always me.
It's always you. But I mean, I've only really been playing Overwatch since May. I mean, since its inception, since its release, that's Overwatch, as you said. It's the staple of my gaming rotation right now, and that's the good thing about this time of year. It's hard to play more than one game because there's not really more than one game to play, so it's like you really focus on a lot of games because we're pre-holiday cycle game release, so it's like you kind of grind out. This is the grindy hours of the year where you put in that time. It's summer, you don't really want to be out much, so you're inside, you're playing games, and you and I are night owls, so we're up until 2 or 3 a.m. playing whatever we play and getting salty, so...
Oh yeah, Josh gets tired, Pazzi gets tired, and I get salty. So that's how it normally goes. And then we stop playing, and then I go quiet and I go, "Yep, it's time to go."
It's time to go play WoW and just relax and kick back. I know the one thing that I do before I want to talk about Overwatch in general is to say that Josh has this really distinct feature about his gaming that a lot of people don't know. Okay, a lot of people might wonder why Josh's accuracy is really good. We're going to talk about this. His accuracy is so good. He is one of those. Recently, he decided to start playing, mouse and keyboard on console, which on a lot of levels I'm okay with as a friend. Like, it doesn't really bug me because it doesn't as a friend, probably because it doesn't directly affect me. I don't have to play against it, so it's just kind of like whatever. But when I do play against it, I'm like the first person to be like, F that guy, he's keyboarding, and I know it.
And then I just keep quiet. And I'm like, Yep,
so what was like...
keyboarders.
I've always wanted to know this. What was your main reason for wanting to switch? Is it because you always play PC and you're more comfortable? Or do you switch because of the advantage? Or is it just something you just thought you wanted to try because it's different? It's not... A lot of people aren't doing it now. It's almost everywhere.
It's more so playing PC. Like, I played back when I played Counter-Strike. I played Battlefield. I played Day of Defeat. Team Fortress 2, and I was used to that. Well, I didn't have a PC for a while, or when I bought it, or I looked into it, because it was just one day I said, I think I Googled keyboard, mouse, and console. That came up, and I bought the first one.
You opened Pandora's box.
Pretty much. And I found that, and it was very small. Nobody even knew about it, and started playing that Modern Warfare 3, and bought that, and then playing with it, and it just, it helps a little. When you play, I guess. You're still constricted by the sensitivity, but to be more pinpoint with your shots is a lot nicer. Plus, I hate controllers. I can't use them. It just doesn't work. I'm controller retarded, I guess. I don't know.
Have you ever tried like a scuff or anything like that?
No, just basic controllers. So
I should let you borrow mine. It's a game changer. It's like I almost had the same feeling about like regular controllers that are like scuff controllers. And if you guys aren't aware of what like a scuff controller is, if you're not really into peripherals like we are, which I'm sure at some point during this podcast life cycle we'll have a whole episode dedicated to peripherals because we're nerds like that. No? No? Okay. But
no, I had in the chat somebody said I love controllers, so it was a thumbs down to them.
I got you. But like I said, scuff controllers basically, it enables you to have more than one button to dedicate to help. Like, if you look at a controller, I'm trying to explain this like without really having a visual as much. Is like you have a regular controller with the 4 buttons on the top. You have to constantly move your finger from the thumbstick to the button, and there's like a process, and that's a delay. When you have like a scuff controller or like a modified controller with paddles or buttons on the back, you don't have to move your finger, so it's like essentially almost holding a keyboard. I had the same amount of keys, they're just easier to access, which for me it just makes everything easier. So now it's like when I try to use a default controller, I squeeze the back. Like I'm like, oh, there's not paddles here, and it's like it adjusts the whole way you play. Like especially games with a lot of movement, like the Call of Duties the last few years, and like Titanfall and Overwatch, even jumping and moving because I play the high mobility characters, and it just makes everything so much easier. And I feel like Microsoft, especially this year, they brought in the Elite controller. They're taking that step, and they're noticing there's a market there, which is cool. It's starting to see it's a regular thing now. And you got to think how much money these companies have made from this the last few years. Scuff is just leading the way with that. I mean, they basically helped fund a whole team house for Optic. They're making money. It's a big business.
That's all you see now.
It's a very big business.
So, well, didn't you see for Sony what they did?
No, what was that?
They have a Sony branded.
Oh, like, the PS4, the gamepad, yeah. I saw that the other day. I was just like,
coming over to the dark side. They're coming over.
They're making it happen.
Yep.
All right.
I seen it and I was like, yes. I won't get it. I like what I have, but that's just.
Hey, which one? You have the Razer one, right? The Targus.
I have the Tartarus, and then I use the G502.
It's not bad.
So it's you know what, I'm so used to it. Like I said, I play PC, so it's just I'm used to it. The controllers, I'll play it with like Diablo or No Man's Sky or like all the games, like single player games, like Mad Max. But when it comes to like shooters, it's keyboard, mouse, or die.
I respect it. I heavily respect it. But all right, let's get into Overwatch, the game that we love to hate and hate to love.
That hate-love relationship is so real. So real.
And if you guys don't, like I said, this is kind of we're really going to talk about Blizzard-specific games mostly in this episode, just because that's basically all we've done the last 3 months is played some kind of Blizzard game. So I figured the first episode would be fitting, basically to talk about what we play the most. And then, we'll obviously do other things from here on out. But let's talk about Overwatch in general. There's a lot of things that I really love about this game. For me, the game has been a very positive thing in my life. It's gotten me out of Call of Duty. It's gotten me out of a lot of first-person shooter games. Hallelujah, exactly. Praise the Lord. Finally got out of Call of Duty. I mean, there's some dips in Halo in there in between, but I've been such a Call of Duty guy for so long. And, I should have known that Blizzard would put out a game that's just immaculate. Like, in all facets, this game is so polished. I remember we played the beta. The beta was so good. I mean, I was ready for this game.
I called it from the get-go, because I brought you into Overwatch.
You did.
Forget this.
You did. I give you credit for that.
So I remember I was just playing. I got it. I'm like, Steve, I'm going to give you this code. You're going to play this game with me. And you didn't want to, but you were like, all right, I'll try it. And then after it was just like.
After it's like, when does this come out? When can I stop playing Call of Duty?
Yep.
That's basically what happened.
And it was just love from there. Just great.
What are your thoughts about Overwatch? I want to know.
My thoughts on Overwatch, honestly, I haven't played a game this long and this much. I'm a person that I get tired of things really quickly. Like the last Black Ops, the only reason I played it was because you were playing. We had other people that were playing that I liked, and friends, so I wanted to play. Other than that, I would have been done months ago. Advanced Warfare took me 3 days. Before that, I like Battlefield 4 a little bit. A little while for that. I mean, honestly, I don't know. I just like everything about it. I like the heroes. I like how there's counters. It's so unbelievably competitive, which kills me sometimes. But it's a good game. The heroes I like, just how it works. I like TF2. I love playing TF2 on PC. I don't even know, 1,000 some odd hours into that game. Stupid. And some of it was just to get hats. But there's no hats in Overwatch. That needs to be put in, I'm just saying.
Well, there's weapon skins now, huh?
Yeah, I guess, that takes over for it. That works. So there's that. There's teamwork. And then what I like about it is because I always have, like, it's me, you, Mag, Johnny O, people we have to play with. So the game's always better with friends. And this game has been, like, the most friends I've had playing one game at a single time. So that's what makes it better, just like I said. And then they're on top of the fact. Blizzard and like Jeff Kaplan, they're just on for like, hey, this isn't working. Let's change this. I mean, some things they do mess up, like what we're gonna be talking about in a minute that Steve's mad about. And then they're staying, they're patching it, they're doing everything with it, they're keeping up to date with it, and just it's nice to have that. It's not like, hey, we're done with the game, here you go, screw you guys, this is what you got. They're on the ball. They're trying to make this game just the top game, just best game they possibly can, and I love it. I have fun. I mean, I have the times where I just get salty, but that's when I'm tired and just.
We played the game for like 6 hours already,
and I just get pissed. So, but like other than that, it's always fun. Like the game's always fun. I don't have any bad times with this game, really. So. Well,
the one thing too I wanted to mention with Overwatch, I feel like you said, they patched this game so quick. Like their time in between patches are averaging 3 weeks right now, which is crazy. Mm-hmm. And then they also had the public test realm on the PC, which they can implement a patch, see how it works, and then change things. And right now we're gonna get into that because the PTR is something that I really think is great, but some of the patches that I think they've done to this game have kind of hurt the game in a way, because I feel like, okay, if you're not familiar with Overwatch, every character has a skill set, okay? Some require more skill to play, and some require no skill to play, okay? I'm a fan of the ones that actually take some time to learn because I'm a nerd. I want to enjoy playing the game, and I want to have a challenge. So it's like I want to learn how to play something and be rewarded for being good with it. You know, it's even like TF2. There were certain classes that would dominate because they were just better, and they had niche things that, like, once you got good with them, it's like, oh my god, like I can just destroy everybody. Exactly. And the same thing with Call of Duty. Call of Duty has a few of those things where it's like they have a few weapons. It's like they're high tier weapons, god tier weapons. You get them and you're good with them and you can carry with them. And the one thing about Overwatch that I've enjoyed the last few months is I can master a character, and that character is Genji, and I can literally carry with him. I mean, you're obviously playing with me too, it helps, but I can solo.
I don't do anything.
Dude, I can solo carry a competitive game with Genji, like instantly. Like if our team sucks, I just go Genji and I can carry. And I feel like with Overwatch, my main problem with Overwatch isn't the game. It's 90% of the people that actually play the game, because they don't take the time to want to learn how to play the game mechanically correctly. And what I mean mechanically correctly is like learning counters. It's like the first week you sent me this list. This is the counters. I learned it and I know it. Occasionally I might ask you just to, confirm that is actually the counter. But there's some
I nerd out.
Exactly. But there's so many people that just like, if they think something is broken, they're just like, nerf it. It's like, no, you just suck. You're not good. And the case with Genji, in my opinion, I'm gonna read some of the patch notes.
Wait, what happened? What happened with Genji, Steve? I'm not sure what you're talking about. Is there some kind of nerf?
Yes.
Or something?
There's a nerf. Basically, they took my near and dear character to my heart, and they said, we're gonna F your mobility, and we're gonna make you basically useless. We're gonna make you Tracer Point 2.0. And they nerf his double jump. They take away his dash. What's the dash? I can understand. The dash, being able to dash your way out of things and into things, probably was a bit broken. I can agree with that, especially when it relates to Junkrat, traps, things of that nature, Venomines.
I'm so happy about that. That's honestly, that's the one thing. I'm sorry. But anyways, go ahead.
Sorry. No, that's fine. No, like honestly, I kind of expect you to comment on that because like I used to play a lot of Junkrat before I really got into playing Genji, and I haven't played Junkrat since I figured Genji out. Because I feel like, and that's a whole nother thing we'll probably get into at some point, is the defense heroes, because they're just plain bad, most of them. Anyways, they really need to fix them. Yeah. But, the other thing they take away from Genji is his ability to do a quick melee with a dash, which is like short burst of damage. And it's like, why would you take that away from, that's like a skill set thing. It's like in Halo, being able to bounce nade and like nade shot. Nade and then one burst somebody. That's a skill. You learn that from playing a character along, you learn that from playing the game. Like every game has that niche like technique. Mm-hmm. And it's like, if it's exploited enough, I guess it could be bad for the game, but I didn't feel like Genji's mobility was bad for the game.
With that, so I feel like with the same thing, it's more so people can't do it, and they're mad that people can do it with the Genji. Going back onto that, the Genji's whole melee dash canceling. So I I think it's people don't like it because they get killed by it so much, but it's not like it's like I can't really do it like at all. I mean, I don't play Genji that much, but it's something you have to learn, and people are angry because it's quick. You do your console, it's right trigger, but left click, and then melee dash, and there's a decent chunk of like burst damage right there. So people are mad because that kills. Zennies are done. You do that. Anybody else, you're done.
Anybody under 200 hit points is basically gone.
And it's just the casual community that's complaining about this. And I wish they would look more at the competitive scene of it and see what they think about it. Which I'm pretty sure people like Seagull and everybody else are not happy about this.
Yep.
Not happy. So, and what I'm worried about is if they start doing that with all the other heroes. So you have like Roadhog with his shot, hook, shot, melee, or
those rapid combinations are skillful acts, and if they're just going to start nerfing them to the ground, it's going to be like, what's the purpose of having the character who can do all these things when they're just going to get rid of it? Instead of maybe nerfing things, they should make everybody better, or maybe them able to counter it, but then again, like, everybody is so casual. I don't expect everybody to want to try hard and like be competitive and be me, but at the same time, it's like, if you're losing to something, if that pisses you off enough that you think it should be nerfed, maybe something should be nerfed, like McCree should have been nerfed.
Don't you take my boy away from me.
Discord Orb for Zenyatta should have been nerfed. That makes sense. It matches Mercy's double damage output when she attaches to a character. That makes sense. It's even pace. But nerfing somebody's mobility, that's a skillful act. It just doesn't make sense to me. And a lot of people are trying to be like, it's not that bad. I'm like, I've watched Seagull try to play Genji, and it's like, he can't do what he does anymore. You have to play ultra defensive, and as a Genji, you already have to play defensive, because your only thing that you had was your ultimate, which got nerfed also, and then now all you can do is farm to get your ultimate, and then Zenyatta will pop his ultimate, canceling you out. So you're just kind of like, well, what am I here for? Why do I even play Genji? What's the point?
And that's it. They did. And I thought a while ago, I remember watching either an interview or something like that, and they said they're not trying to nerf the heroes. They're more so trying to buff everyone to the point that, so just everybody, it's not going to be like, hey, we're bringing somebody down. It's more so, hey, we're going to make this person better, but we're also going to make these heroes better too. So I don't know. I don't feel like it's really going that route. I feel like with Zenyatta, they're just going nuts with that, which, I mean, we're going to get into the meta effects and everything else and what else is going on in the patch also. But like, you have Zenyatta now with Genji's ult. Once Zenyatta ults, it's going to be about the same timing.
It's identical now. It's 6 seconds.
Yeah, so you hear Genji ult, the Zenyatta pops his ult, you're guaranteed you're going to have that up longer than that Genji ult. So it pretty much negates that, or Genji's ult altogether. What else? So you have the Discord Orb, which I think that's fine. That just works out in more damage for Zenyatta. I mean,
because he's not OP already.
He's already a powerhouse. So I don't know about the whole damage up, just because the Discord Orb got buffed or nerfed a little bit.
It's essentially like it didn't even do anything. You made it. Yeah. You evened it out.
Yeah. The Murphy buffs. I forgot I had that on. The Mercy buffs. So they, I like that. I like what they did. I think everything for that is actually fairly well and fairly good. Like, I'm actually happy with that. Like more healing. What else was there? There was more healing with her.
I mean, they adjusted D.Va's defense matrix as well, which finally it's like D.Va isn't going to be as bad. I still think they need to make that longer because it's a toggle ability basically. So it's like you're always going to have a prominent defensive ability where you can. I literally stare at D.Va's doing defense matrix. So I'm just like, well, I'm not going to shoot at you for like another 3 seconds. Okay. And it's like you wait for him and then you dispose of the suit and then you move on with your day. Like, it's like, okay, you just prolonged you dying. Like, that's all D.Va does basically.
So, yeah, it's D.Va. I'm glad. I like her and I liked how she was being seen more. But when it got to a point where you're having quick play and there was like 2 or 3 of them and it was just stupid. The matrix was up every 5 seconds, not 5 seconds, sorry, 1 second, because they were just swapping back and forth. I'm glad they kind of changed it a little bit, give you a little bit more time for the delay, which is nice. I also want to talk about, actually, I don't even know if I want to talk about it because I'm going to start getting triggered.
Do it. I know what you're going to say. Do it.
So, Hanzo.
Yep.
Dropping logs, Hanzo.
Have you seen Seagull playing Hanzo the last 2 weeks? Oh my god!
I haven't even looked. I don't even think I've played that much since this because I don't want to.
Go to my YouTube and just go to my likes and just watch the 3 Seagull videos of him like literally going on like a 25 streak. He's shooting buses at people. And like you got to think about it too. Maybe we're overreacting because this is still in PTR. So it's like this isn't a for sure patch yet. Maybe they might scale things back, but Hanzo is going to be meta. Like let's talk about this meta. If people don't understand what meta is, we're talking about competitively how you should run your team, because every team has 6 characters. Every character has a different skill or ability and a role. Those fit into a team composition which is best or worst. You know, and Overwatch has this little handy dandy thing on the right side that tells you what you can and can't use, or not what you can and can't, what you should use. It gives you tips. Like, this is what you need. You have this characters, here's your fill character. And it's like, all you need is a Zenyatta. I was
gonna say is more Hanzo, by the way.
Yeah. All you need is a Zenyatta and a Lucio for your healing. And then they've been running Genjis. And then maybe a McCree. And then anything else is interchangeable depending on what kind of game mode you're playing.
Yeah, I feel, with support, I feel like it's always Lucio. You're always going to have
Lucio is the most overpowered character in the game, like no question.
Zenyatta can be it can be either Mercy or Zenyatta. I mean, if you want damage, Zenyatta. If you want the alt of Mercy, which also helps. I mean, they're pretty much interchangeable. Just depends on who you have. If they want to play Zenyatta, and if they're good with Zenyatta. If they're not, they can go with Mercy. DPS wise, Genji. I haven't seen that much Tracer. I feel like lately.
I feel like it's going to be different now.
I think it's going to change. I think there's going to be more Tracer. There's normally Genji. I see McCree because he's still
his range.
Amazing. His range is still good. It's still great. I just love it. I love using him. So, and then honestly, a Reinhardt, toss that in there. Toss a Roadhog if you need to just get
Zarya.
Zarya if you're good.
And almost any tank can play any role in this game.
Mm-hmm, yeah. So I feel like it's pretty much kind of it's same meta, but at the same time I have a feeling there's going to be a lot more Hanzos now, just because the movement capabilities now, when the bow or the arrows pulled back, the projectile speeds increase, so it's not a laser, but at least it's faster. There's going to be a lot more headshots, a lot more salt on the battlefield, and there's going to be a lot more meat raging. And then also you have the hitboxes are back to what it used to be, which that's not the only. It's not that changed. There's also Genji's hitboxes went back. I think Zenyatta's hitboxes went back also.
Everybody's hitboxes went
I'm pretty
regular.
sure, it's everybody. They went back. They just reverted it back. So, I mean, there'll be more, but Hanzo, go die. Just go die.
I've been playing a lot of Hanzo already, like the last few weeks, just because like I have 30 hours played as Genji, just for relevance to anything we're talking about. Okay, so I'm a pretty good Genji character. Like I said, I can carry Genji in any circumstance. We're getting crapped on, I just switch Genji. Unless somebody else is playing Genji and we're competitive, I can't. I'll use something else. Yeah. But in pubs, I just Genji and I can literally change a game. Like we literally were down 99-0 once, changed to Genji. They didn't get another point and we capped. I got 3 swords on 1 point. I mean, that's and I understand for some people that might be hard to counter because they're just like, this dude that's screaming Japanese and has a sword and he's running at me, he can kill me in 2 shots, like this is overpowered. And it's like they don't think of his main weakness is Zenyatta. Discord Orb and I'm done. I'm out. It's it. I'm over. And it's like, if people just learn some of the counters to some of these metas, like the game would be more enjoyable in a public fashion. But since there's no hero limit, you're gonna get 17 divas. And then you're going to get a few Zenyatas, and then everybody wants to run Genji now because they know he's going to get nerfed. It just screws the whole game up in a public fashion. It's not as fun to play right now. So when Season 2 rolls around, I'm probably primarily just going to be playing competitive, especially with the format change. So.
Oh yeah, format change and just... Which we can kind of segue, I guess, into that. Is the whole competitive and everything else like that. Because other than that, it's... the small patches are like Mei with her Pierce's barriers and everything else like that. Which, okay, I mean, which I don't know if it does Reinhardt's.
It does.
Shield?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's
It can actually go through a wall now, too. If there's a wall in a corner, it'll go through the wall.
That's stupid. Okay, so that's dumb. The Deadeye thing I really don't care about because I suck with Deadeye. So, I noticed that, and then also Lucio that has a speed boost that dropped before I even get into the whole competitive. But speed boost, but you're still getting a speed boost. So I have a feeling you're still going to toss it on. It's still going to be the same way. It's not going to change much. And then, yeah, there was something with Roadhog, but it wasn't. It was like something about the hook and like not getting hooked around corners, which everybody's happy about that.
No, basically what it's doing though is saying that you could still get hooked, but it's going to move you and then pull you. That's what it means.
Gotcha. Okay.
So instead of it pulling you around like 6 objects, it's going to pull you back to where you should have been hooked and then pull you back. So it's more fluid, so you don't get stuck on random things.
Yeah, sometimes that.
Because I've hooked I've hooked a Junkrat trap through a wall and like it would glitched out. Like they're trying to avoid things happening like that, is my guess.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, yeah, that works. So, and then now we have competitive. Talking about that, which I actually like what they're doing. I'm glad they're changing this. I hope this works out well. Is the changing to the skill ratings, which has gone from the 1 to 100, which I didn't like at all. I thought that was just stupid. Just I don't know. And now they're changing it to the 1 to 5,000, which
makes more sense.
Yeah. Which go. What do you think?
I think it's good in a lot of senses because I know people were so worried about what number they were that there was some of the people, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Unit Lost and like Cynical Nerds, they were essentially talking about people having competitive anxiety because of them losing points. And they didn't want to play competitive because of the fear of them losing, because they know they would lose a lot of games, so they would lose their competitive rank. Which kind of makes sense. Like, I can understand that thought process. I don't want to play because I don't want to lose rank. And then, not to mention the fact that now, if, I was even watching a video, like, if you play support and you play in the new system, you're not going to be able to maybe play with your friends after you do your 10 rank up games because you're going to be so far down that you're not going to be able to group up with your friends after you just did your 10 games with them because of how strict they are with the leveling.
Yeah, I'm worried about that.
I'm not worried about that with me and you because we mainly play DPS, but say Meg, who mainly plays Mercy, or, heal or Zenyatta, I think Zenyatta would probably fare better in this situation, but if you think about it, like, she might not be able to play with us because the skill gap is going to be too big. And she's already on the cusp of the skill gap right now. So yeah, that's like, I agree. That competitive anxiety was terrible. That's the bad part about it was you were scared to drop down 1 point. Like, that's how it was. You were so up, like, your night ended horribly if you dropped 2, you're like, I'm done, I can't even play this game anymore. Because 5 levels in competitive is a huge skill difference.
Yeah it is. So it definitely, I'm glad that's gone, because that's what I was like. I kept moving back and forth. I'm like, and then I felt like I wasn't going anywhere because there's just so much in between that I sat at like 54, 55 every time we played. It would just drop, how they have that.
When if you lose a few. I mean, I had some really good results solo queuing on PS4. My solo queue account's like 60 something. So, yeah. I mean, that's higher end of competitive. I mean, and that's the one thing I think they're trying to get rid of too, is because they don't want you to look at your skill rank and be like, well, I'm a 60. They want you to look at it and be like, I'm a master. I want to play against master players or diamond players. Like, you're more in a broader skill spectrum, but it means more to be in the division that you are. It makes more sense that way. Because I know League of Legends uses this, Call of Duty used this for a few years, the same thing. And I just want to make mention, I'm normally not I'm an esports guy. I do enjoy esports. I follow esports and competitive and things of this nature. I've never really been a fan of playing competitive game modes in games because they normally aren't the same game. The meta isn't the same. This is the first game where I feel like the meta is actually really close. Like, I constantly see, competitive meta in quick play. Most of the time, unless we're running 4 Hanzos just for fun. But, I mean, people actually try really hard in quick play and they run competitive environments. So it's like when you go to quick play, I like playing the rule set. So it's like, it's a more enjoyable experience in this game, in my opinion.
Yeah, I never play competitive just because I get too angry half the time. But this, I actually like going into and playing. It's fun to do this. And now with the new ratings and everything else like that, I'm excited to see where that goes. I'm excited to see how that is. I liked it with Halo 5. I actually like how they do theirs. And that's pretty much about the same thing as that, which I think that's a good way to do it. Then also, I like how it's, if you start losing, I forgot where it is. I think it's like what tier is it? Is it Diamond or Master, yeah. Grandmaster?
Yeah.
You'll start losing points if you don't play for like a week, I think it is.
It's like, a week or two or something like that.
Yeah. So you lose, which is good because you have those people that, they were playing and they probably did their 10 matches got bumped up to 68, 65, something stupid, and they didn't play it anymore. So they'd stay up there, stay in their top 500 after people dropped after a while. So like, you know, they ended up getting their points.
Yeah,
getting
you make
whatever else.
You make top 500. You don't play. Seal did the same thing. A lot of the higher than they'll make a Smurf account and then they'll just go and play. Yes. And then they have two players. They have two accounts that are in top 500, and then that screws the matchmaking up because your MMR is like ridiculous. Like you just get like placement games and you're top 80 like instantly. So
it is. So that's nice, but I also like how it's once you get up to A tier, I think it's up until Diamond also. If you just keep losing, you won't drop out of that tier.
Yeah, whatever division you make, you stay in.
Which I like that. I like that because if you drop back down and you have to go through all those matches again to get back up, that's just a hassle. That's a grind, and that's not what I want to do.
Yeah.
So
because a lot of us can only play a few games a night, and I think that was the hard thing about Overwatch competitive and the previous edition of it is you literally had to play for a few hours at a time to even make a dent in your number. Like when I played the one night on PS4, I went from like, you know, a 60 to a 64 in like 7 hours, and that's only losing one game. Because when you were winning, you were only depends on how well you were doing. They were taking all these factors, and then it's like if you didn't do well, you got like maybe a quarter of like XP for, you know, the next game. It's just like it didn't really make sense to me. So
yeah, I didn't get that either because you would drop so much, but say if you didn't do much or you didn't like do the best in the team, you'd get this little bit of XP. So it didn't even like counter the amount that you just lost from the last two games. So it's like, well, that's good. Now I'm so low. It's okay. This is good. I want to play another game. Let's go. So, I think this is going to be good. I think if this works out well and right, it's going to make competitive a lot better.
I think it'll make the game as a whole a lot better, barring that maybe they reverse the Genji change a little bit. But we'll see what happens. You know, maybe it'll make me appreciate more characters and play more things. I'm trying to be optimistic about this. I'm just like, well, I could play other characters now, which it's actually forced me to already do that. So it's like, I think they realized too, they were talking about like how much, you know, the change and how many people were playing certain characters. Genji's stat pick went through the roof. It was like 97%.
Oh, it's stupid.
It's stupid high. Really high. And at a high level, I understand because his mobility and everything makes you a high level character. But I'm optimistic for the changes. I'm interested to see what happens with PTR over the next few weeks. And the new season will start September 6th, which is a Tuesday. So be ready, get your eggs in a row. And now let's talk about some World of Warcraft. We're just going to keep it rolling with some Blizzard.
We're jumping into the World of Warcraft. So, we're going in.
Josh was, you know, so gracious of him to say, hey, we need to play some World of Warcraft. We need to play another game. I'm like, well, I don't know. I haven't played WoW in a really long time. He goes, it's okay. I haven't either. But Legion's coming out and we need to level up and we need to do account. So he basically just buys me an account and goes, here, play.
You're going to play this game with me.
You're going to play this.
Like they're not.
You're going to play this game. And I have to say the experience has been pretty fun, except for the other night when we were leveling. We couldn't figure out what the hell happened. But it was something because we were grouped up weird or something. But what are your plans for Legion, man? Like, what brought you back? What got you excited?
I've always liked MMOs. Like, I've always liked the hangout grind. Like, honestly, the biggest one that I had, which of course people are gonna say it's first person shooter, whatever. Like, Destiny was big for me. Before that, like, I played Neverwinter. That's on, you know, PS4 and Xbox One, which I get a whole bunch of crap for that.
From Johnny, I mean, I don't really care.
Yeah, Johnny just hates it for some reason. I had a good time with it. I mean, I played WoW. How I started with it was a buddy in one of my college classes was like, he knew I played games, and he's like, hey, have you ever played World of Warcraft? I'm like, no. It was like 2007, 2008. He's like, here, play, and he just gave me a 3-month subscription and said, jump on. I was like, okay, and we played. Man, that was that 3 months was gone. Another 3 months was gone. Another 3 months. It was constant. Get home from school, play. It was terrible. I had to
consumed your soul.
Yeah, pretty much. So now it's 2007. So 9 years later, 8 years later ish, coming back. Lost my account. Don't remember my account. Anything. Email, password. Starting fresh. So I just watched some Legion stuff. I seen it. I talked to some people about it, and I'm like, I don't know what it was. All of a sudden, it was just that, like, I thought back then, and I'm like, I had so much fun with this. I want to get back into this. Everybody's saying just they did this right. Like, they did Legion it's done so well. The story's done well. The changes they did to all the classes are well. I'm so excited to jump into that. I already bought I have a subscription already. Steve, I'm gonna end up getting you one soon. So like I can't wait to jump into that. I have that level 100 token right now. Me and Steve are about level 10 to 15, just going through whatever. So it's gonna be a little bit of a grind, but we'll get there. And plus, with I found out today that they have these new world, I don't know what to call it, like world events type deal.
Public events.
Like Legion, like the Legion invades like a certain area. So you just sit there and it scales to your character, but you still get, they actually nerfed the experience and they put it back. They said, you know what, whatever, take the experience, we don't care. So they buffed the experience back, so you sit there and go against all this like Legion invasion and just get a crap ton of XP to the point I was level 10 earlier, and then after 30-45 minutes of this I was level 17. And I'm like, okay, and then you get good gear, you get good loot. I'm trying to like push this on you so we play this tonight, by the way. So you get good gear, good loot. And I'm like, okay, well, this is going to be easy to level up, get to there, do the Legion stuff, get through that. Because I want to go through everything, because I don't even remember the last expansion I did. So I want to just go through everything, do it again. I don't care if it's bad or not. I just want to have a good time with the game and, whatever. Jump back into it. Wow, the game's so old. So it's just, I don't know.
I remember starting in like 2007 and leveling up a few years and then quitting, and then that's when I got back into Halo and console gaming, because all my friends moved from like PC over because like Xbox 360 came out. Everybody's like, bro, have you played Halo 2? I'm like, who hasn't played Halo? Like, what are you doing? Like that kind of stuff going on. And then I just wanted to play something with more adventure, but kind of like, back then it was like nerdy to play World of Warcraft, Back then gaming wasn't as popular as it is now.
No,
I mean,
you were in the closet gamer. That's how it was back then.
Yeah, so it's like, everybody's like, well, what do you play? I play World of Warcraft. And people just give you that look. But then it's like, you don't understand like how many hours and how much time I put into that game and played that game, and how many people I've met because of World of Warcraft. How many people you meet in gaming in general is an astonishing thing now. It's such a pop culture thing now that you can play games with anybody around the world and make friends. Lifelong friends playing video games. I mean, I have so many people, shout out to, Artie and Cody. Those are the guys that I've known I've like never physically, obviously seen them through pictures and stuff, but I've spent countless years and nights playing games with these people, So it's like, it's cool that we can just get on a game and play. Sorry, I'm sidetracking a little bit. It kind of made me think about like, in general, gaming is such a pop culture thing now. It's with esports and all that, it's popular to game now. And now that's why I feel like World of Warcraft is making a resurgence, because all these people are like, who used to play Warcraft, and now they're fixing the game, they're making it better, they're bringing it back to more vanilla style, so it's just more fun overall to play the game again. That's what piqued my interest. They have these new characters, they have the pandas. I'm just like, I know that's even 3 years ago. I haven't played the game in like 7 years, so I'm just like, this is new for me. Oh, they have a werewolf, okay, like let me try that. Like fuck it, like let's do it.
Oh yeah, that's so what classes are what class races are we going? So we can let everybody know, just in case they want to join up with us.
Right. Right now I'm running a gnome, a dwarf hunter, which is because I just wanted to be in the same region as you. I think I played a dwarf before I did the starting area, which everything looked really familiar for me. It's fun being a hunter because a hunter is like easy mode. Hunter is so easy. Yeah. It's range DPS, and DPS, if you don't know what that means, just damage per second, obviously, just in case nobody knows that. We mentioned that term a few times by now. I probably should have like a little lingo sheet when we post this. But
it's only gamers watching.
It's only gamers watch it, right? But I mean, this is probably going to be the most nerdiest podcast of the ones we do. Everything else from here is probably going to be pretty mainstream, like FPS, like the sit down on the couch, play Battlefield kind of stuff. Now we're like doing the nitty gritty, like this is the real nerd stuff.
This is the statistics for World of Warcraft that we're going to be going through. Your DPS is at about 13,000. I'd say you can get a little bit higher there, bud.
Essentially, yeah. But I don't know. I've always enjoyed playing the Horde, and it's different playing the Alliance. That's one thing that's kind of new for me.
It feels dirty. It does.
It feels weird, man. When your friend was like, "Hey, you need an Alliance character," I'm just like, ugh. Like,
I did the same thing. I was like, but why? But why?
It's always fun being the bad guy. I enjoy being the bad guy, and they have cooler characters. I mean, have you seen like like a Death Knight Goblin. Like, let's be serious.
Yeah. Not gonna lie, I looked at a Death Knight or a dwarf earlier today,
and that looks pretty brolic.
It looks pretty nice. I'll give him that. But yeah, I've always played Horde, so I'm kind of like doing Alliance. I'm like, I don't wanna do it. I feel like I'm like coming back 7 years later and be like, hey, hon, not gonna see you anymore. We got another girl. She's a little bit prettier, a little bit nicer than you. Don't think she has any diseases. We're just gonna go with that. But no, I don't know. It's a little bit different. I mean, I'm going with a dwarf. We're both going with a dwarf. So we're doing that. I went shaman. I'm going enhancement shaman because that's just, I've been looking way too much into it and seeing that it's just going to be good in this patch. So
you're one of those. You're just like, what's the cheese?
It's not.
What's the cheese?
It's just they've boosted it so it's actually better now. So it's
on point with everything else.
Yeah. Okay. Like before, it is pretty much irrelevant. You didn't the shamans. You'd play your elemental shaman because it was okay, but like nobody really wanted to pick you for raids or dungeons or anything else. But now it's like you can be an elemental shaman, you can be an enhancement shaman, and just do work. Like the damage you can do is stupid. Like mine's 17 right now, and it's just I just go in and just light shit up. It's fun. I like it. So I have that. I'm gonna make a monk too, just because monks. It's reminding me of like freaking Bruce Lee. I don't even know, just like the things they have. So it'll be fun. Do I think? What I'm thinking about is I don't know if this is gonna save WoW, and of course it's too early. The game's not even out yet, or the expansion isn't. But it's looking like that. You hear everything about the people playing in the PTR and just how they've done the game well. They've done the game good. They've done good. So I'm excited. It's going to be fun. So we're going to have good times playing it. We're going to have way too many hours, countless hours gone because of it. So yeah, it'll be fun. It'll be a little bit of a change from Overwatch. So that's
the kind of thing too I've been searching for, is a secondary game to play, because I'm obviously Overwatch first, but like over the next few weeks, I mean, I've logged on. So there's people that are like, I'm about to hit rank 100, and I know people that are like level 300. So it's just like, holy crap. Like, I thought I've been playing a lot, and then I hear about that. So it's like, I like to balance my games, and I feel like, especially this time of year, like I said, there's not really much out that's new, at least, to play. So you're kind of going back and playing a lot of older games. Like, I've been playing a little Fallout 4 again, just going through some of the DLC and the story. So it's like, it's great, by the way. You really should. Far Harbor.
I have it.
Bethesda,
Far
Harbor.
I haven't played it yet.
A+.
Overwatch.
That's what I'm saying, but I don't know if it's really going to save WoW, but for me personally, I never really took WoW seriously after I quit. I always like kind of dabbled again here and there, like, oh, I'll play a trial account, and then it's like, I'm already bored. But now it's like, maybe because the same cases with Overwatch with you, or like playing other games, is like, I actually have people to play with now, so it's like, it makes me want to play, because I don't just have to solo play the game. I can be like, oh, I can get on and play, and like, for Overwatch, I can solo play or play with people. I don't really care, because I just genuinely enjoy the game. Or World of Warcraft is one of those games where I feel like the experience is so grindy and it's so lengthy that you playing with other people, one, makes your leveling better, and two, it's just more enjoyable to play something with somebody else and just talk and just have fun and meet up and meet new people. So it's a good experience for that.
Yeah. Plus, why not just waste time?
Yeah, why not? So, we're all just gonna die at some point, right? We just might as well waste time playing World of Warcraft.
You're gonna be breaking up with Megazord. It's just gonna be
rip relationship.
We got each other.
7 years down the drain for World of Warcraft.
for a while.
But yeah, basically, that's pretty much most of the show. That, I mean, we kind of went on a little bit about Overwatch, but that's just one thing we're both really passionate about. We really do enjoy that game thoroughly, and if you guys haven't checked out that game, we're getting towards the holiday season. There's going to be deals on games. I'm assuming, Blizzard games do go on sale on the PC. I know it's actually cheaper than it is on the console, so yeah, that's a benefit for you. A lot of console players, kind of get shafted on it. That's a topic for another episode, obviously. But Josh, where can we find you at?
You can find me at twitter.com/positiveentropy_. You can also find me at this Twitch channel that you're possibly watching it at, and or off the podcast. It's twitch.tv/positiveentropy. You can always check me out there. My Twitter, I'm always on there, and I post constantly, or I just post gifts to Franchise over here.
All right. And then you guys obviously can find me at Twitter at FranchiseGFX, because I'm a designer and that's what I do. I post some cool things and some dank memes occasionally. And
so dank.
I don't really live stream. I'm trying to get back into YouTube, so this is more than likely going to be back up on my YouTube, which I will have the link for posted on my Twitter. So I hope you guys enjoy your day, and we will see you soon for another Brofessional podcast episode number 2, which more than likely will consist of some Battlefield-related things, because the beta's next week, and also some Titanfall 2 review-ish statements. You better start playing that, bud.
I know.
Alright, guys. Take it easy.
Later.